welcome Cheyenne Bryant, PhD!
What's up, you guys? This is Moral of the Story, and for today's story, we are going over Cheyenne Bryant. She's a psychologist, life coach, relationship expert, social media, motivational queen. You've probably seen her around a couple of times. And she's also a single 42-year-old woman who, with no kids, by the way, who loves to tell people how to parent and stay married. So something's not clicking. So Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is a psychologist and life coach who specializes in relationships. She's all over social media. She does seminars, interviews, talk shows. Basically, if it involves telling people how to improve their love lives or family dynamics, she's there, mic in hand, giving TED Talk energy. And she does make some great points, don't get me wrong, okay? I've seen her content. She's insightful, speaks with confidence, and clearly knows how to articulate a message that resonates with people.
So sometimes knowing what not to do saves you from doing the wrong shit. It's not about having a perfect household. It's about having a blended balance.
But there's something that just throws me off a little bit. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I saw her interview on the Truth After Dark podcast. And then I was like, there it is.
Keep going.
I like cooked food.
Okay.
So
she's cooked. You like her?
No.
we good?
What I'm saying is, people looked at this as me dissing women.
Right.
No, that's not a diss toward
I
women.
got you.
I like cooked
You're
food.
saying you like a woman who's cooked,
Who's ready,
seasoned,
who's seasoned,
who's experienced, who has wisdom.
See, so y'all took it out
who
of
has
context.
wisdom.
But that's not what he was saying.
Yes,
the
that's
first
exactly
time.
what. Don't
I
tell me
got
what
you.
I'm saying.
What he's saying is that the meat that's
that's-
marinated is still marinating and it's
Exactly.
preparing for the opportunity. He's saying a woman who is cooked,
Boom.
been there, done that,
Yeah.
has the wisdom, she has the
Boom.
experience, and so he don't have to teach her to marinate. He don't have to put her in the freezer. He ain't got to wait for her ass to come out. He ain't got to put her on the oven and wait for the oven to go. She's ready. She comes already seasoned, ready, and fresh.
But
Okay, so first of all, I like that, all right? She's going over the stigma about how certain people think that if women aren't married or in a relationship or have kids at a certain time, then they're cooked. And she's like, no, I ain't cooked. I'm 42, I ain't cooked. I ain't burnt. I'm seasoned. And I like that, okay? I'll give her that. I'll give her that. That was cool. That was nice. She even gave a biblical reference that I really appreciated. You know, your timing isn't God's timing, and not everybody's journey looks the same. So I don't want to just sit here and bash her just because she is 42 years old with no kids. That's not the point of this video. The point of the video is to show how she says one thing, but her life looks differently. And I just don't know how much you should listen to somebody who's giving life advice on how to have a successful life, yet they do not have that successful life.
But what do you say to women who feel that pressure? You know, because you're very confident, 42. You're like, I can have kids. I'm going to get married. And I love that energy. Yeah, and I believe it. And I love that energy. But I feel like so many women are in fear. And they operate out of this fear. And if you can say anything to help them, like that would be
they're
amazing.
operating out of lack.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say, where's your faith at? Faith is an action word, right? And so for me, I always use Abraham and Sarah in the Bible. God doesn't, he keeps his promises. He says no request returns void.
Ooh.
Okay? And so Sarah and Abraham made a request for a child. They were up in their 80s. And Sarah got impatient. And she told Abraham, get the maid pregnant.
Hold on. You said they was in their 80s? Both of them?
Yeah.
It's in the Bible. Look it
Yeah,
up.
Bible story. I know
So
this.
Sarah,
believe the
but this
story.
is why faith is an action word. Sarah told Abraham, listen, it ain't gonna happen. Get the maid pregnant. He got the maid pregnant. As soon as he got the maid pregnant, Sarah
Sarah's
ended up
pregnant. Yeah.
So Sarah told Abraham, guess what? I'm pregnant now, bruh. Maid, she gotta go. So Abraham, being the good husband that he was, because remember, he's been hearkening onto her voice the whole time. He didn't cheat. She gave him permission to do this. He tells the maid she gotta go. God talks to the maid in the desert and says, listen, you don't know who you're pregnant with. Go back. The maid's like, I can't go back. Go back. She comes back. Sarah has her baby. Guess what's in that household? Nothing but conflict. Nothing but conflict. What is my point? My point is I'm not Sarah. I understand that my request ain't returned void.
Ooh.
And I understand, like the Bible says, be anxious for nothing and make your request be known to God. I'm not anxious about when a child or husband is coming. I don't want anything that's not mine. And I say this, Paul, with no pun intended, when we take things that aren't ours, it comes with the expiration date. Just like those two beautiful mothers of your kids, expiration date. But you still have the kids you have to father. I don't want that situation. So I would rather wait for God to deliver what's mine on his time when I am cooked and not still raw meat and not ready. And if that means I gotta wait till 43 or 44 or call off another wedding, I am okay with that. My obedience is to God, not people.
But I did like the biblical reference, and I thought it was really good. But this is where she starts losing me. Okay, this is where she starts to lose me.
But to Paul's point in question about being 42 and wanting to be married and me wanting to wait till I was of age is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
With time, you get wisdom. And with seeing things and allowing other people's experiences to expose you to things that help you to have better decision-making skills, it saves you a lot of the bullshit that people are going through in their 20s and 30s when they're married young.
True.
So she pushes this narrative that it's actually better to have kids later in life, right? And look, if that works for her, that's fine. But she's saying that it's better, not just okay, and if that's how your journey goes, that's how your journey goes. No, she's saying that it's better to have kids like late 30s, early 40s, around that time, rather than your early 20s and 30s, because people just aren't emotionally mature enough. And she uses herself as an example. And she was like, I know when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was doing this, that, and the third, and it just showed that I just wasn't emotionally ready to be a mother or a wife. And if that's you, that's you. But it shouldn't be a universal rule that we should all just have kids later in life, because I know plenty of people who have children in their early 20s or early 30s, and they're doing just fine. Okay, not me. I don't have that. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people do, and they're doing just fine. So I just don't think that antidote should be something that she's giving out to everybody. That was her story, that's her journey, that's not everybody's. So it shouldn't just be something like, this is the best thing to do. And speaking of relationships, let me just tell you the biggest red flag I had when I was watching this interview. So Dr. Bryant, she was asked about what kind of relationship she's in, if she's talking to anybody, what's going on in her life. She's just giving out all of this information and this advice, which I do believe, if you actually watch the interview, a lot of the advice she gives is true and good. I'm not saying that she does not give good advice or that you shouldn't listen to her in some aspects. But when the host, Paul, asks her about her own relationships and what's going on in her life, first of all, she gets a little hesitant. And then she starts to explain the situationship that she's in, like she's Jada Smith or something. She's in a relationship for 5 years, on and off with this guy, okay? And it's not something that she's just reflecting on. She's still currently in this unstable, off and on relationship with this guy. And keep in mind, a younger guy. I think he's like 9 years younger than her. Okay, which makes sense if you go back into earlier, in the beginning of the interview, she talks about when she was talking about being cooked or whatever. She said that younger guys actually appreciates older women way more than men of her same age. And now I understand why she said that, because she's talking to a younger guy. But this is what confuses me. She talks about how the reason why she's not actually settled down with this person is because he's so young, he's emotionally immature. So the person who's an expert on relationships is talking about how she's in an unstable relationship with a younger guy, and she is going off and on with him and not settling down because she doesn't think that he's ready. Well, I feel like if you were talking to anybody else, you would advise them to stop that relationship, right?
What's your situation right now?
What you mean situation?
Like,
Happy?
You got a man?
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating?
I am
Something serious
dating.
more than other?
No, just dating.
We gotta change, because she's therapying us.
Yeah.
We gotta make this about her now.
Right. You kind of therapizing us.
Paul's like, I want my woman to mommy me.
Like, hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you. You done flipped the script on us. We over here.
Reverse Uno.
Man, you sure did.
But it was good. It was insightful.
No, we need to find out about what's going on with her. She dating, single.
dating.
What do that entail for a 42-year-old?
I am dating.
Dating but single.
Enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many do you dating right now?
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but I have one guy that I have
Yeah,
dated
she's
off and
better
on
now. We
for
got
5
her.
years.
We got her.
We've dated for 5 years off and
So
on.
you was his work for 5 years? You been his work? You still his work?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know what's going on now. I'm about to, no, we're going to take this sheep clothing off.
Right, the wolf teeth coming out. He just has some emotional maturity that he had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years younger than me. And so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a relationship.
And you've been waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why y'all not together?
Just because of that,
So you waiting on that?
No, I'm not waiting on it. And I don't have him waiting.
She even said that the dude was emotionally immature, probably because he's 9 years younger than her, right? And I mean valid, but you're giving out marriage advice, right? When even you haven't been in a relationship that you would consider successful. She's been engaged twice, never married. And let me be clear, I'm not knocking her for not getting married. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Honestly, I'd rather her have called off the engagement if it wasn't right for her than just settle down and get married to somebody that is not going to do it for her. But if you're going to build a brand on having successful relationships and give advice to people on how to have successful relationships, I would expect you to be in a successful relationship. Is that too much to ask?
Young men are willing to wine and dine and prepare
They are.
the table for the cooked meat.
They do.
Trust me. The older men sitting back with pop stands like you with their glass in their hand saying, when you gonna serve daddy? When you gonna serve me?
Make daddy a sandwich.
Make daddy a sandwich.
So this is the clip right here. Hilarious analogy, right? Younger men treat cook women like fine wine. Okay, cool. That's good. She likes that. All right. But she's out here still dating the same younger guy. She says that is emotionally immature, saying I'm single but dating, which that don't even make sense. Okay. If I am receiving relationship advice from somebody who's saying I'm single but dating, nah, baby. That don't even, you confused. You're confusing me. And here is what really made me have the side eye, okay? So in the interview, she brings up broken homes and she gives excellent statistics, excellent analogies and understanding on why broken homes happen, how to avoid them, and how broken homes affect children the most. And I thought she did phenomenal on giving that advice and talking about that situation. But she talks about how instability between two people hurts the kids the most, which once again, I agree 100%. But then a few minutes later, she talks about how she took out her IUD and she's ready to have kids. With who?
You pregnant?
Paul's like, did we get an exclusive?
You said
No, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can be ready to do it.
Congrats. I
What is
love
that?
that.
The eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out
no.
and freeze them?
So let me get this straight, because in the interview, she also talks about how she admires how cautious her ex was when it came down to taking birth control and practicing birth control, right? Because it made her know that he was so confident in himself and he cared about himself so much that he was like, I don't want to have a kid outside of a marriage, and that it's not best for me and it's not best for the child. Yet she wants to take out her IUD and she's not married and talking about this same person. It just does not make any sense. And once again, this is where I'm trying to say where I don't think that women should take everything that she says as gospel, as truth. Because once again, she's very articulate, okay? She's smart, she knows how to make a good point, and she knows how to speak it very well. But there's just certain aspects of what she talks about that she does not resemble in her own life. So I just don't understand how someone can sit here and be like, I'm gonna go to her for relationship advice. And look, I'm not here to bash Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, okay? Once again, I think she's very insightful. She's very confident. She knows how to capture an audience. She knows how to speak very well, articulate herself very well. And she knows a lot about why relationships fail and how to actually escape that and how to actually stop that from happening. But when your brand is built on guiding people, I would expect you to practice what you preach. I'm not expecting her to be perfect. but at least because once again, 5 years going on and off with this person. This is not just something that she was in a relationship with for a couple of months, couple of years, and then she was like, I ended it because I understand this is not healthy. If you are going to guide people through life, talking about relationships, love advice, parenting, I would expect that advice to reflect in your life somehow. I think that's not too much to ask, and I think anybody who is building their brand on how to be a life coach should be using their advice, and it should be reflected in their life themselves. All right, guys, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Rats. I
What is
love
that? The eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out
no.
and freeze them?
No, the
That's not
IUD
that?
is a birth control method that you put inside of your vagina.
I wish I had a pillow.
Oh,
I
I
would
don't
launch you right at your head.